Hi, hope everyone. My name's Mr. Fruit, and welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 187. In today's
Coming to
episode,
you live from 12,000 feet below the ocean.
and near the North Pole. Actually, where are you? Are you in the Antarctica?
We're like
Antarctica, my
north,
brother in
like
Christ.
So that would be
Newfoundland.
that'd be South Pole, right? And if you're Antarctica, right? Because the Arctic's north, Antarctica's south.
No,
Exactly.
isn't the Arctic? I don't know. South Pole.
Find out in this podcast. You won't.
You won't if that's
You
the
won't
case.
actually. You won't.
Rob, you look it up so we can answer that in a second. We discuss, if you haven't heard about it, the Titanic submarine story, which what a roller coaster, and some great memes. We discuss some crazy storms I had, a tornado, Nani? The Destiny 2 drama with microtransactions across videos, across all this other stuff.
Stolen art, Monka?
I come with you for answers. So I Googled top of the earth, and it says North Pole. And then I Googled bottom of the earth, and that says Antarctica.
Interesting. But that would be
Can't
the
believe you
South
didn't know
Pole,
that.
though. Well, no, I know that, but then that's what I'm saying. Like, Antarctica would be the South Pole.
You don't know where I live, man?
Well, that,
Well, yeah.
somebody said North Pole, and I said no. It'd be South Pole because it's Antarctica.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway,
you were the one saying to look it up.
we also talk about questions, and
I just thought you wanted to know where Santa lived.
No, I want to know, like, what is the North Pole? That's like
Just the most north point of the earth.
yeah, but like
you're
where, like
and
what?
and where Santa lives. Well, first of all, you can't see where Santa lives unless you truly believe. So let's just get that out of the way.
That's probably why when I googled it, nothing showed up. I've been getting cold. No wonder. Sheesh.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you in today's episode.
From the gas pump to the grocery store, your utility bills, and your favorite streaming service, inflation is everywhere. Seriously, make it stop. Thankfully, there's one company out there that's giving you much needed break. It's Mint Mobile. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton, with phone plans just starting at $15 a month. Mint Mobile showed me if I switched for my provider that I would be saving at least $50 if I just switched to their phone plan. For people looking to save extra savings this year, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless just at $15 a month. By going online only and eliminating traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes significant savings onto you. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/GG. That's mintmobile.com/GG. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/GG. We've all been there. You have an unexpected medical expense, or you get into a fender bender, but you don't have the money to pay for it immediately. Now Dave can help you out of a pinch when you really need it. There is nothing more stressful than living paycheck to paycheck, and with Dave, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Dave is the banking app that could help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. With Dave, there's no interest, late fees, or credit check. There's more money to fill your tank, finally get your car repaired, or catch up on bills without having to wait for your next paycheck. It's simple. Download the Dave app from the App Store right now or go to dave.com/GG. Dave.com/GG. Sign up for extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve Bank and Trust, members FDIC. Make sure you check the description right now for that link to Dave. Thank you, Dave, for sponsoring this podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the GG Over Easy podcast, episode 187. Firing that quick because I think that's right. In today's episode,
clicked on the start streaming button instead of the start recording. But I went.
oh, now hold up. Why does that look wrong?
Get those notifications. Sorry.
I'm sorry about that. We are back this week, and with
We're all here.
yeah, we're all here. Not to mention, visually, we now like the full layout. We got Blue's PNG tuber while we wait for the VTube stuff. It's crazy. Look at this. It's like we're all in person, except not at all. Isn't that weird? That's crazy.
There's
Anywho.
still a pandemic going on.
You shut up about that nonsense. Can't keep lying to me. You know what did lie to me though? Is my beard trimmer. I feel like a prepubescent boy.
I was about to.
Oh, it
I
went
was about
way
to,
too short. Yep, I feel
I
that.
was about to talk about it today. I was like, wow, you like I was gonna say, you look at least 3 years younger.
And I hate
You
it.
really do. I haven't
Yeah.
seen
At
your
least
beard.
3 years younger.
I haven't seen your beard this short in
Ever.
God,
In
like
years.
like,
Years.
not even just years. You
I hate it.
I've been there where you all just years of, I mean, months.
I'll get it back in like
hard work,
a month or two.
You look
But
good.
hard
Well,
work,
yeah.
and then suddenly it's all forgone when you shave your setting is a little closer than you thought it was, and now I look like a baby.
Yeah, as someone who doesn't have like a beard to trim or anything, what happened? Like, how does that happen?
Well, the problem was I don't know where it goes. I have a trimmer and it has little I don't know what you call them, like heads, like different sizes you put on a clipper, whatever. Now. They just keep disappearing. I don't know what it is. And so like the ones I need, like the only ones left are for like if I had some like like lumberjack beard,
ZZ Top type looking
right?
beard.
And I want a little bit closer. And I wanted to go look because I was at like what I don't know, like 13 millimeters or whatever the fudge my clipping thing would have been, and I wanted to go down like 8. Couldn't find it. It's nowhere. And so there was this other trimmer I haven't used, and I was like, I'll set it up. Set it up. Try to use it, but like something's not working because I'm like at the setting I would think I need, and like nothing's happening. I'm like, that's weird. I don't know. Maybe they're going by something different. So I go down a little bit, still nothing. Like what is? All right, I don't know. Maybe it's like way off. If I go down a little bit more, well, it starts working.
Zoom.
Yeah, I go boom, and I pull away, and I'm like,
Starts working a little too well.
yeah, and then it's like there's no coming back. It was enough where it's just like, and it's like
it was like a hole in your beard,
just like
and
a
it's
whole
like-
strip, and it's like, all right, well, screw
Well,
me.
Here we go.
And I was like, how bad could it be? I did the whole thing. And I'm like, it's bad. It's real bad. That's what it is.
It's not bad.
It's really not
just
bad.
Jarring. It's just jarring because it's
not-
so different.
It's not bad, but in the moment you're like,
Yeah.
You know what I feel like? You know those like it shows like an infant and it's like dad shaves his beard and the baby reacts to dad without beard. It's like that. Like I still know you're my dad. It's just a little, like huh,
It looks
okay.
like I lost like 5 years.
At least 3 for me. Like you look like 25 again. 24.
oh, 100%. 100%.
I don't like it. So
Like,
I know
the,
like a couple weeks it'll be back to like, all right, this is okay, but I got to deal with this for now. And it's just like I see myself and it's like,
what did Claire think?
well, I went in there and she couldn't tell like something was off for a second.
Like something's wrong. I can't figure out.
Yeah,
what,
and then I
something's
point out,
wrong.
and she's like, "Oh my god, you're right." And now she just keeps making fun of me. So,
Like a true wife would.
yeah, wouldn't expect anything less. So, hopefully that comes back soon. But, not the biggest fan. Definitely.
So how long do you think it's
prefer
gonna
beer.
take?
I mean, like, to get back, to get back to where I was, I don't know, maybe 2-ish months, 2, 3. But I don't want to get back there. As soon as it just
Okay.
starts to get a little bit longer, a little more full, because that's the thing too, is a lot of my beard, especially like up here and stuff, looks a lot lighter until it's a little bit longer, more dense.
Did any of you want to go full shave?
No, not at all.
Okay.
It wasn't that bad. I would rather have this than full
Okay.
shave. So yeah, yes, not the best. A little meltdown
It's
yesterday.
like I
but-
noticed it, but I didn't notice it at the same time.
Yeah.
It was weird. It's like, what's different about Christian today? And then you
Right.
said that, I was like, that's what it is. Like,
And you know what? It wasn't the strangest thing that happened yesterday. Because they almost made a sequel to the movie Twister at my house.
Oh, that's right. I heard.
Which Claire
I
didn't
heard
even know it
about
was a
that.
movie. I was like, what? What do you mean?
What?
Yeah, I was like, what
Did
do
you
you mean
know
you don't
about the
what
movie
Twister?
Twister?
Bro, I remember being a kid and hearing about Twister. That made me so. I was like, wait, we got those? Like, it's like that's why we got those in our like, that's in our backyard. I hate it. Yeah, that movie used to scare me so bad.
Yesterday,
You guys should watch.
yeah, it was from like '96.
It's an old movie.
From what I remember, I was a while ago. I was like, it's an okay movie. It's also not rated terribly. But like don't go in expecting
Exactly high art, but it's fun art.
Yeah.
It's like Sharknado before Sharknado.
Yeah.
With an actual budget, and America was kind of down for it at that time.
I would say the same type of style of
that era.
Like
Not quite
action.
as absurdist though.
Definitely not absurdist. It's still a good movie. It's still aiming to be a good movie.
It's like the time where like 90s action movies were like, okay, we're starting to run out of ideas here.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Natural disasters.
What's next? Let's see. Yeah, natural disasters. This Colorado summer has been bizarre. Couldn't tell you. I'm sure there's some stat, but I couldn't tell you the last time we've seen this much rain, thunderstorms, hail. I mean, it's been like we've probably been getting more rain and cloudier than Seattle the past month and a half.
Well, so my friend from Ireland comes to visit Colorado, and I swear he brought the weather with him, but didn't take it back. Because like the day he got here, it was like a week and a half straight, no sun, just rain every day. And I was like, dude, I was like, because like the whole time I'm like, Colorado weather undefeated, bro. Like sometimes there's not even a cloud in the sky. Like we got the most sunshine days. I think like the times he was here, it was that thing where it's like really nice during out the morning and afternoon, and then evening it's a fucking death storm. Like,
and yesterday was no different. You didn't catch it from what I
no,
heard.
we didn't get hit by it. Well, because like, okay, you're on stream, and then you're like, okay, I gotta go, and people are like, is it really that bad? Like, why aren't you leaving? I was like, well, I live like completely on the opposite side of the state. And I like, let me see how bad it looks. And I looked at like where your area is. You guys were in the pink. Like when you're in the pink on a dot, you're in it. Like I was like, oh, he's in. Like I was like, he's in it. So
well, we were playing X Defiant, and I knew it was bad when it started sounding like gunfire outside the game. I'm like, hold up, what's going on?
Wait a minute.
And I'm over here like, what the?
I
And
live in a nice neighborhood. What's happening?
because it's been hailing a good bit every now and then. And so I started to hear it. I'm like, oh, it's just hailing again. Whatever. But then it gets louder. And typically, like, the hail lasts, I'm not kidding, like a minute.
Yeah,
a couple minutes go by.
A flash.
A couple minutes go by, and it's only louder. To the point where it's just like... And it's like the whole house.
Hail impression.
Thank you. And so I look outside, and I mean, it looks like it snowed. Like, it's just white everywhere. There's so much hail. Claire brought one in, and even after it had melted, it was like, I want to say, probably about like a quarter. They were huge.
So like a little smaller than golf ball, like circumference, like if we're talking,
probably like half a golf ball, and it's just coming down. I'm like, good lord, and it just sounds like Armageddon out there. And I look at it, you can't like, rain's coming down. Like this is like way harder than usual. Because like usually by now, like this storm's passed, and I go back to playing, and then I get an alert on my phone. And I hear like the and then there's like we got a tornado warning. We gotta go, and I'm like, every time I'm like, babe, they just have to do it. Like there's no tornado. All right, we're fine. We're in Colorado, right? Like what's gonna happen?
Like that doesn't like they come down for a little bit and then like they go. Like,
yeah,
it's
if
like
they even
cloud,
come down,
and then like it's like funnel cloud, and then that's 95% of my tornado experiences in Colorado.
I'm like, what's worse is gonna happen? And
the roof is gonna lift up.
Yeah, but she's like, but like this one's like an actual warning that's going off, and I'm like, they just have to do that. It's a And then that's when I hear
I'm playing X Defiant. Get out.
yeah. And that's when I hear her dad calls her. And that's when she comes in and she's like, the tornado touched down the county next to us. And where it touched down, the storm's moving our way. And so then I'm like, okay, sure, fine. I'll go look. And I go look.
I'll look. And
Yeah, I was like, let me look outside. I like go out there, look at the back, and I go, all right, yeah, we can head to the basement. That seems fair.
oh, okay. It was really bad.
Yeah, I got that, and 'cause that's the thing too. Is like I tell her, like, look, I've been through tornadoes, I've been through hurricanes. You know, it ain't that bad. Plus,
This is another Tuesday.
you know,
Come on, man.
right?
It's too
like,
easy.
It'd be different if we have to worry about. I forget how they categorize tornadoes. But like if we're in tornado alley and we're getting like
F1, F2.
right, if
like
we're getting F
F3,
bajillions, we got to worry about that. But if we get something here, even if we get something here,
it's like
pretty light.
F1,
Right.
like normal. Like,
no, I ain't bad.
when they have touchdown, the one tornado in my life, and I think you remember that one.
Oh
it
yeah.
was like in the middle of a field, and like
Mhm.
that was it.
So I'm like, all right, it's enough. Plus, she's just like freaking out. She got the dogs and everything. I'm like, all right, yeah, we'll go to the basement.
How are the dogs handling it?
I mean, Appa doesn't know anything else. Olive's having the worst time of her life because the thunder and the hail. All
She
those
understands.
loud noises. Yeah, she's like, I feel it coming. She is that.
She's too smart for her own good.
Yeah, she got that dog in her. She got that sixth sense. But yeah, no, I mean, I go down there, and I was like, if a tornado was ever going to touch down on us, it would be right now. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because yeah, I went outside. Not a lot of visibility past the houses we're at, and then I mean, I'm talking like full clouds, like revolutions around our house, like on the ground, and I'm like, all right, it's
time to-
yeah.
I'm scared.
And I was like, this is all right. This one's real.
Babe, it's not a big deal. Literal twister outside.
You know,
What,
that's
babe? Maybe it's a big deal.
well, every other time it really is. It's like it is not.
It seriously like.
Yeah. Then I go down and see that. I'm like, all right, yeah, we'll go to the basement. So we go to the basement. But the thing too is like I'm not worried about it like ripping off the roof, because even then,
Never.
still.
Come on.
Again, like I literally, because of like the pressure system we have
on.
here and the altitude and like the cold, like I literally don't think it's possible to get like those high F tornadoes. But it's still to the point where like, especially if I'm in my office, like you don't want to be near windows and stuff just in case. And plus, I'm worried about my dogs regardless. So we waited out. Tornado doesn't end up hitting us, but it was definitely close. And I was like easily the worst storm I've seen in the 18 years I've been in Colorado.
Okay, so it was in Highlands Ranch. So yeah.
Yeah. So not too far. And it was just a pretty crazy experience. And I was like, oh. Then I came back later. But it was pretty cool. And then being able to watch, so after like it was like, all right, we're probably in the clear. And then going in the back. It was still pretty crazy. I mean, like,
I'm just watching like lightning and stuff. I saw like a lot of posts about it yesterday.
Well, like farther to the left, sort of to the right, but like farther to the left, it straight up looked like, like in videos or movies, you see like sandstorms coming and like the giant like dust clouds.
Yeah.
It looked like that, but more blue out in the distance. And I mean, they were like chugging, and they're way out there. It was pretty crazy. Even above us, like all the cloud, like the wind was going crazy. It was. So, made for, just another Thursday or whatever.
Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
From the gas pump to the grocery store, your utility bills and your favorite streaming service, inflation is everywhere. Seriously, make it stop. Thankfully, there's one company out there that's giving you much needed break. It's Mint Mobile. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order from home and save a ton, with phone plans just starting at $15 a month. Mint Mobile showed me if I switched for my provider that I would be saving at least $50 if I just switched to their phone plan. For people looking to save extra savings this year, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless just at $15 a month. By going online only and eliminating traditional costs of retail, Mint Mobile passes significant savings onto you. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/GG. That's mintmobile.com/GG. Cut your wireless bill to just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/GG.
So like actual tornado though, interesting.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, but like like you said, like it just like rips out trees and then some shingles. Like it doesn't like we don't have it because we're so close to the foothills. Like we're not that close to the mountains, but we're close enough to where it's like that just doesn't happen. If you go more east Colorado, like that's where you can find like the bigger ones and stuff. But it's just, but because we're so close to the mountains, we get hail like you wouldn't believe.
Like, bruh. Well, and so Claire was super sad too because her garden had been doing so well.
Oh
no!
It's
I didn't even think about that. The garden.
She showed me some pictures. It looks like a murder scene. Like
looks like someone just went in there and just punched
like
her
just
tulips.
all the plants, stems, everywhere. It's just they got hosed. So unlucky.
Struggles of a gardener, you know.
And I'm pretty sure nobody got injured. As far as I'm aware. There was a thunderstorm the night before, which is also crazy. We went to bed and I was able to just sit there in our room, lights off, blinds closed, but it was still so bright. It was like lighting up the room like strobe lights, like all the time. Like the thunder has been crazy this summer.
Well, did you
crazy.
did you see like where that storm was? That storm was at Red Rocks before a Louis Tomlinson concert, I guess, the guy from One Direction. And because I saw it on the news, and people were just getting pelted with golf ball size hail at Red Rocks, which like you couldn't be in a worse area for hail. At
no
Red
cover.
Rocks, like there's very few coverage, and like when there is cover, there's like no room at all. So,
well, from that storm, one person died. However, it was because of like some flooding on a side road. So it wasn't like directly from something, but still ended up, which is unfortunate. But as far as the tornado, I still think most people were fine with it. But it was still just like, for me being in Colorado, I was like, okay, like I see you, I see the game.
yeah, there's been very one of the. It's like one of those storms where like, okay, that was actually like a real like storm that time.
Credit where credit due. So yeah.
When I remember like seeing my first tornado, that one tornado we're talking about, wow, we were like freshmen in high school, maybe even 8th grade. We were playing Smash on the Wii U, whichever that one was, and all of a sudden we hear the tornado sirens, and we're like, like basically like who gives a shit? Like, oh, we're already in the basement playing Smash, like whatever. And then my stepmom comes down and goes like, guys, you got to see this. And like we come out in the backyard and there's just like a tornado on the ground, just in the middle of a field, maybe like 20, 30 miles away from us, like maybe somewhere around there. And man, it was cool looking. But like thankfully it was just like in the middle of a field, like where Jordan is, and it's like that field right there. It was pretty sick. Not one of those ones where it's like, get inside, we're about to die. So
yeah, see, that was Florida.
Thankfully, I don't ever see those.
Well, it's like
because like hurricanes make tornadoes, right? Like they'll make little mini ones.
And so I'm like, babe, we're already like, this is so much better than Florida. First off, we already have a basement. That beats our food pantry in Florida that we have to put a mattress over our heads while we sit in there, right? Like that's already way easier. And so yeah.
Does Texas get tornadoes, Blue, or like
not
Texas
very often, but we do sometimes get tornadoes. We get pretty common hail.
Hail gang.
I'm pretty sure the most weather-based issue we have is usually like heat.
Or the
and that
rain
seems
and
like more of a
freeze
government
every 10 years
type of thing.
That's more of a governmental
power.
Nice job
power
on
grid.
Not prepping for this. But yeah, we usually have it's usually hail is the biggest one.
Well, I mean, like that's the thing too. Though, it's like tornadoes are still pretty rare. Especially the more west you get to, it's
people being like, a lot of it is just people like not heeding the warnings.
which is
Speaking of
usually me.
not heeding the warnings,
Oh,
can I ask you guys something?
Mother Nature.
Can I ask you guys something? Would if I paid you $250,000, would you guys have gotten on that submarine?
No.
No. And I would take $250,000 for just about anything right now, but no.
That's like probably my worst nightmare. Like,
speaking of implosions,
yeah. But did you like? Okay, so for those that, I mean, if you don't know, you've been living under a rock. Okay, so apparently there is a submarine that gives tours to people that want to go see the Titanic, and by people I mean rich millionaires and billionaires that literally have nothing but. They take you down to 12,000 feet, I believe it is, to look at the Titanic through a little peephole while someone takes a shit right in front of you.
Yeah, you don't even really have a peephole. There's only like a little window somewhere, like the bathroom or like whatever the tiny thing is. But I also don't really know if they have. It's well lit enough to really see anything outside of the specific.
No,
window.
It's not. Like you literally just see that little hole. Like it would be pitch black. Yeah.
That's the bizarre. They have like they have like cameras outside, and inside they have like the screen and stuff. You're seeing it. That's the bizarre part to me though. Is like you're going down all that way to just look at a screen. So why not just look at the screen on land?
Oh.
Like it'd be different. I understand if it was bigger and like big viewing glass, and the whole point was like you could sit there and explore and be like, "Whoa, look at all this!" But you're all huddled around a little thing in like this like 10x10 death chamber or whatever that thing was.
So the submarine, for those that don't know, it's about the size of a minivan. And with this submarine, they have to what's the word I'm looking for? Like close from the outside. Like the only way to like have this work is like they bolt you in from the outside. So the only way to get out of it is at some point you get out and they go, "All right, can you bolt us out?" Like what if they're just like, "No," like
all right.
Now you're stuck in a metal tube. And also in this metal tube, there's no seats. There's no like that's the captain's seat. Like this is my seat.
You're like sitting crisscross applesauce.
peanut butter jelly, while the captain takes a fucking Logitech controller. This doesn't do it justice because this is an actual real controller. This isn't a Mad Catz PS1 controller, okay?
Not the controller my older brother gives me when we're playing PlayStation, and I gotta get the janky controller.
To be fair, this is a weird talking point when I think like the standard in that industry
like an Xbox
is actually controllers. So,
which I don't think people realize that like of all the things that wasn't the weirdest.
That was the most normal thing of that entire crazy situation.
So, what was cool about it is Sunday morning, one of my favorite programs to watch. Did a deep dive, if you will, onto this submarine. Yeah, you like that. Onto this like the workings of the submarine, how it works and all that stuff. Like, so the anchor is like going through the like waiver, and it's basically like this is not certified. This is like not certified by a board. There's no regulations that we had to follow or anything. Like doing this can result in like emotional damage, physical damage, and even like death. And like, all right. So like all these people signed those waivers to go. So like their families can't like claim anything. They know what they were getting into. So the ship drops you off and they just were lost for 2 days. Until yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw the news. Apparently one of those man-made robots that, I don't know, lets you control it from at top of the ship. So you don't have to go 12,000 feet to see the Titanic. You can have a robot do it for you. Apparently the robot found the tail of the submarine about 1,600 feet away from the Titanic. So they have concluded that the submarine imploded.
Which, be fair, best way to go out.
Yeah.
100%,
Wow.
100%.
No other way. Like the dude was talking about it. He was like, they were like imploded on in like 0.2 nanoseconds.
It's
And he's like, and it takes
0.3
your
milliseconds from you.
Yeah, and he's like, it takes your brain 0.4 milliseconds from your spine to your brain to register that there's a problem. So he's
You
like,
wouldn't even know.
they didn't even know what happened.
Which,
So
if it was gonna happen, like I'd prefer that. Yeah, just
Best way to go
That's
out is unfortunately, getting compressed down
because
in an
like,
instant.
I was thinking
So-
about like what I would do in that scenario. I'm not kidding you guys. Like if they were like, okay, we're kind of screwed, guys. We're gonna run out of air. I'm immediately taking the captain and choking him out. Okay, he dies. All of a sudden,
your
we have
chokeholds,
air for an
man.
extra like 5 or 6 hours.
Jesus
man.
fucking Christ.
So now we have a little bit more air, and then all of a sudden it's like, all right, let's relax, guys. And then it's
and as soon
then
as someone
I
else
got-
lets their guard down.
My God,
Yeah.
man.
and then
Rob
see all of a
just
sudden,
absolutely deranged. It's the purge with Rob. If you go down
oh,
with him,
if I'm in there,
just remember
and I
that
hear-
it
and
is the purge.
we don't implode. The captain goes, all right, guys, we have a problem here. We're stuck in here. We maybe have like 4. He doesn't even finish. Like he doesn't even get to finish his like explanation. I'm
Fucking
already,
unbelievable. Jesus
I'm
Christ,
already
man.
there, like choking his ass out because this was his idea.
People
All
are
right.
like, Oregon Trail, how could they like
God,
resort to
man.
cannibalism? Rob's over there
Boom.
before anything. Like,
I'm not
do
eating
we want to eat
anybody.
him? You're immediately just like,
I'm taking
whatever,
his air
survival of the
supply.
fittest.
I'm just no. It's not the food I'm doing. He's taking precious.
that's just
air,
what I'm saying.
all
Like,
right?
like people are like, what about moral compass? Right? Doesn't it?
There's no
Rob's
moral
like-
compass.
As soon as I'm okay, my 3 biggest fears in life. Okay, heights. Actually, claustrophobia is number 1. Okay, heights is probably 2. The ocean is 3. Okay, we got 2 of the top 3 in there. All right. Morals are gone. Like I'm living my worst nightmare at that point.
But that's what I was like when we heard the story. It was like they went missing like Monday or Monday, and then
Yeah, something.
they like calculated that they would have until like Thursday at approximate time worth of oxygen. And so I'm sitting like, that would be like, you're sitting there, you know you're in trouble, you're stuck or wherever you are, you don't know where you are, you can't get out, 4 or 5 of you stuck in this thing, and like realistically probably gonna die and just sitting on that. I'm like, that would be miserable. So then I heard implosion, and I'm like, oh, all right. If it's gonna happen again, like if you're gonna die,
It's the only
I'll
way.
take that.
It's the only way.
Can I? How does that happen? Like, okay, stupid question. Does my body implode, or am I just getting crushed by the steel and metal pipes and all
It's
that,
both.
like by the
It's
submarine
both.
that got?
It's both. I mean, when it comes to like implosion like that, you get pressurized. The inside gets pressurized, so you aren't crushed under the insane weight of obviously being miles and miles and miles underwater. So, yeah, it's both. Not only do you get crushed by the weight of the water pressure, you also get crushed by the surrounding Titanic
submarine,
crushing you,
like-
submarine crushing you. Yeah, so
Like if you weren't in the submarine, you would implode. It's just that you wouldn't even make it that far. But if you somehow just dropped somebody, like teleported them there, they would immediately implode.
squish.
When you say implode, like how does that? Like you just like crush, like it's almost like, jeez.
Imagine the way you. How do I even? It's
take
just
like
insane.
Like
A little ball like this.
we'll take like an empty soda can, you crush it. That's your pressure crushing that object, right? That
Yeah,
sure.
Imagine a hydraulic.
Like,
Those
yeah,
hydraulic press
billion-fold.
videos.
Yeah,
6,000 pounds of cubics per square inch, baby.
Imagine the hydraulic press, except the hydraulic press is a circle, and the circle will perfectly close in on you into a tiny little pencil-shaped pink mist.
Yeah.
That's
you're gone.
yeah.
Can I ask you guys the deep layered question here that I've wondered about this whole like incident? You know, most of the time you see tragedy, you see people go like, "Oh, T's and P's." Like I'm sad.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
let's think
T's
about
and
this.
P's.
Why is this one specifically just
Um,
let's meme to death? Like
Well,
no lie, the memes have been great. I'm
well,
not gonna lie.
on Twitter especially, it's like there's no remorse for most billionaires in general. So,
It's more like a eat
well,
the rich
it was
kind of
just
thing.
it was just a great, ridiculous amount of experts being like, yeah, like this is sad, but like with all due respect, this was not an unavoidable catastrophe. Like everyone was like,
Like,
yeah, literally every expert looked at this case and they were like, why did they go down there with that? Why would like this was avoidable? So pretty much everyone was like, geez, man, like why would you do that? The fact that it was like it was a rich submarine as well, like for billionaires, millionaires to go view the Titanic. That also definitely didn't help with the with the empathy toward
There's
them.
just no relatability.
There was zero relatability. Rich dude was like, check this out, I could do some crazy shit. Um, all these engineers, lol, I know way better. I'm a billionaire. In tandem with, wow, this dude made every possible engineering mistake you could make.
you remember
The
why the world
stories
should
that
break
came
though?
out, it was. I saw that Twitter clip of there
Like
was a
him
Twitter clip,
explaining though.
and he was explaining. He was the CEO. This dude is like, yeah, I broke some rules to make this. Yeah, like like the carbon fiber and like the titanium and stuff. Like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like all these experts told me not to do that, and well, I did. Like it was like an accomplishment. It's like, my brother in Christ, you have been turned into fish food and you don't even know it. Incredible engineering decision. There were so many stories of people being fired because they told him, hey, like this is not safe, don't do that. And then he's just like, I don't like that answer.
It's
Get out of here.
crazy though,
I
like
disagree.
the amount of people that did do the tour though before like this happened. You know, like this was like inevitable. Like I feel like, we've never heard about this place because all the tours went okay, I guess. But like this was only a matter of time, man. And I think like what you said, Blue, it has the perfect amount of like, or Christian said, no relatability, and the perfect amount of like stupidity, and like they put themselves in that situation where it was like,
More
all
like
right,
a
you asked for it, we can spice it up.
It's more like a Darwin Award, where it's just like you messed around, you found out.
It worked once. We'll be fine.
Yeah, and so like I can feel bad and understand for like the family,
100%.
those around them.
The kid
The
as
guy trying to
well.
get it.
Yeah,
I feel bad for the kid, especially because he's only 19. He did not ask for that at all. But
Sorry,
for the other grown ass adults, any
I
amount
was
of
sorry.
research. Keep going, Rob. Sorry.
I don't want people to think I was laughing when Blue said 19. I thought you were going to talk about the son that it was at a Blink 182 concert the next day and was
Oh
asking
my
only fan
god,
girls to sit
that
on his
too, man.
face.
Dude
That's
was
what I
about
thought
to
you were
cash
talking
in.
about.
Dude was about to cash in. He was like, "We're celebrating. Let's go to this Blink 182 concert, baby.
yeah. He's like, I'm pretty sure I'm in that will, baby. Let's get it.
Let's get it, baby."
Dichotomy, man. I will say that the Titanic KD memes hilarious though. I have to.
I got 5 more in me.
Yeah.
It's
On it, the
100 years
Titanic on their
later.
111th season. It's my favorite part of
I
that.
got 5 more in me.
So I have to admit that is pretty funny. I mean, is it unfortunate? Yeah. Is it sad? Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
But like,
it sucks.
at some point too, that's just it. Like, you got billionaires who are like, let's throw away $250,000 while ignoring all caution to go down to see the Titanic and this weird contraption where you can't really see the Titanic, and then like the whole thing happened, and it's just like,
Okay. Here's an actual good question that I think is what would you got? Okay, say you're a billionaire. Yeah. What would you pay $250,000 to go see as like a tourist, like as a
Nothing.
super, like I can't even like think of
Not a
something that
damn thing.
here's some
like I don't really like Everest doesn't do it for me. Space, I don't know how much SpaceX costs or whatever.
get me in some
Like I don't
like restricted like pyramids, see some like
I want a tour proof
cool-
of aliens in my face to pay
That would be
250,
cool.
bro.
yeah. Can I be a Area 41 tourist?
that probably costs a little bit more than 250.
Yeah, maybe. I think there would be that. Like,
Well, like,
if I was a billionaire, then
because they
quarter of
talk
a
about
million
like
to
that
see some
super
stuff no one
tourism is
can.
like a
All right.
big thing. Like I can't even think of like I'd rather like spend $20,000 at Disneyland and have a crazy Disneyland experience or something. I don't know. Like
I'd be like,
maybe I'm just living that broke life, and I have a broke mind, and you know I can't really think beyond the barriers of when you actually have $1 billion. Because like just watch Titanic, like, and then what is it about the Titanic? Like, what is it about a fucking ship that is at the bottom of the ocean that just gets old white's Jimmy's
Even
Russell,
worse,
baby? Like
even
they
worse,
love it.
even worse. None of the lessons of the Titanic were learned. Like, this ship is unsinkable. Nothing bad can happen to this ship. Everything is going to be fine. Yeah, there's a couple of like glaring issues, but like we'll be okay. Oh, there's an entire minefield of fucking ice caps. You really shouldn't go in there. Nah, we'll be fine. Like, and the entire lesson of the Titanic just unlearned
For real. Like,
via we should go visit Titanic. How did the Titanic sink anyway? Oh yeah, well here's this massive mistake that everyone ignored. Oh, wow. What a lesson. What's this thing made out of anyways?
I just don't get it. I just don't understand. It's a fucking ship that has a movie made out of it. Go visit another ship in the ocean that's maybe 4,000 feet at the bottom. You know, that's a little less. And you know, like, the ocean for me is the scariest place on earth. You know, we've
Oh,
explored.
100%.
Like, I think like there's a stat like we've explored more space than we have the ocean. You know, like. The ocean is where I feel like all the scary things are. You know, like we don't know where like half of the shit that's down there, you know? Other than like Avatar guy. Thanks to Avatar guy, we know.
well,
James Cameron.
there's like that whole thing, like, if aliens were already on Earth, the closest thing would be like octopus. Those are practically already alien. We don't understand, like, how are they intelligent? How do they work? How are they able to? There's so much stuff, and you see even just how smart. There are also sea animals. You have like orcapods, which were like. I was literally reading the thing where they documented a brief orcapod trend where they were wearing like dead lobsters as hats or something. And then it spread to 2 different orcapods that were like separate from them. And they started wearing like dead lobster, whatever it was, like for hats. Then the fad like died out, but that was like a thing. And that's just crazy. We're like dolphins. We've seen that like there are intelligent enough mammals who can like feel emotions and all that kind of stuff in the sea, and are frankly probably smarter than at least like half the human population. Let's be honest, like, that's a pretty low bar.
Low bar.
And it's just wild. Like there's like the thing. It's like octopuses are aliens who crash landed, and like all their equipment just got pressurized from in the sea, and they're just trying to figure out how to get home. You know, that's what they're doing. It makes more sense than anything else. Otherwise, like, what am I supposed to do? Crazy. Yeah. I hate the sea. I mean, you're talking to the dude who couldn't play Subnautica, right? There's a crippling fear. Couldn't do it.
See, like thankfully I can like disconnect those sorts of things. But I know in my life I'll never go on a cruise. Like I will never ever go on a cruise. Like I have no desire. Freaks me out. I feel like I'd get like, I don't know. I feel like I'd be isolated. As soon as I can't see land,
Yep.
I'm out. Like
Yeah.
I want to just see like, okay, if we turn this left, we can see the land there and we could just go there. We'll hit land. As soon as it's like no ocean, it's like, okay, I'm trusting you, like, to figure out where we are. And you're drinking a Bud Light Lime, and we're in the middle of the ocean. Like,
I don't know how they did it. Like, the people crazy enough to pioneer the sea back in the day. You know, like there's like, hey, I've heard there, or well, what's funny is it was a Viking venture, I believe, that meant to go to. They're not called Vikings, I know, blah blah blah, but whatever. Stay with me. Went on a ship because they were going to go to. I think like they'd heard about. I think it was like China or something. And they were going to go for trade, and so they meant to like go to China, and they ended up in modern day Canada, I believe. Like what? Or no, it was Iceland, and then from Iceland they went and like landed on Canada. But like, can you imagine? First off, you're just like,
China.
I know we're gonna go here, and then let's go that way. There's maybe something out there.
You know what I think about the most, like with those kind of expeditions, is like at night. You know, you don't have electricity back then. Like it's pitch black when you're on that ship. Like there is no. The only kind of light you have is the moonlight, and you better have a clear sky. No, never in a million. That's why, like, I feel like the people that like settled in Denver, they saw the Rocky Mountains and went, no, nah.
They're like, you know what?
I gotta go over those.
Yeah, no. I'm just gonna stick it here.
There's a couple people who are like, anybody with us? No, you're alone.
We'll ski on that, like.
They're like, wow, that must be the edge of the world. Oh well.
Years later, they're like, I think we found Bob's wagon when they left us. It's like 2 miles out. They didn't make it. That was
good.
Yeah,
it hailed on him. Now his cart has hail damage.
Same thing, like manifest destiny. You know, I'm in the East back in the day, and they're like, go west. I'm like, no, I'm good. I think I'll stay right here. So I mean, hey,
manifest
but
destiny.
see,
I haven't heard that since like 5th grade.
If it was only up to people like us, you know, we wouldn't be here. So it's a good thing there are some crazy sons of guns that are willing to do that. But I'll play safe. You know.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah, I'll leave that up to some other people. I don't need the glory. You guys can go.
But shout out to the Titanic for showing me that even at an old age, you can still get it done.
That's right. Still got it going.
Still got it going.
Never say never.
I did hear that the Titanic in like 20, 30 years though will be totally like gone. Like it'll be like a coral reef or whatever. It'll be completely disintegrated at that point. But who fucking cares? Like, why do I care?
Well, then I better get on that submarine in the next 10. Sheesh, if I want to make it. Imagine the next day they reopen. All right, we got a new one. This one's better, I swear.
Like, dude, a submarine is literally like my biggest fear. Like, that was like a tube in the ocean.
The thing,
like,
the thing is, at that point, you might as well be in space. The same as space.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be in space.
Dude, it's like harder than space. More people have been to space than have seen the Titanic in person. Like, by a lot, I think. And you're going hundreds of miles into the sky. Yeah, you want to bet? Dude, there's been way more people in space than have seen the Titanic in person. You know how hard it is to go down 2 miles into the ocean? Comparatively to hundreds of thousands of, not hundreds of thousands, but thousands of miles into the sky?
I mean, if they've been doing these tours, that immediately tells me that more people have probably been.
6. Well, you got how many people go to the International Space Station every year? How many people, you know, or
I mean, let's see if we can, how many people have been in space. I don't know if there's like a number.
565 people have reached the altitude of space according to American definition. Someone
weird
says
way to
about 650.
What a weird way to describe that. Reach the altitude of space according to American definition. What? We haven't agreed upon. The world hasn't agreed upon what space is yet. News to me. Well, this says today about 650 have flown in space.
So this is 16 hours ago. How many people have visited the shipwreck? Fewer than 250 people have visited the site of the Titanic since 1985.
There you go. That's crazy.
It's harder. It's harder to go down 2 miles into the ocean than it is to go into space. Like,
well, I would argue not harder. It's just not as
more
much.
Dangerous, I guess.
There's not as much
engineering,
reason.
I guess.
Yeah, like why are we putting our work towards that when we're work on something like going to space.
I mean, you could even ask about like space, like why we go to space.
Well, because we keep this up, we need somewhere else to go. All right, so we're doing this
Yep.
to ourselves.
That's true.
Plus, like, that just still like. I wish I was just there the day the first person went into space and like the moon landing, because like there were theories and ideas and people told you, but you're like, yeah, okay, those things are planets or space, and there's something beyond that. But then like it happened.
Like you're saying, like when our kid or our
in
parents
the
were kids,
60s.
like where
Well,
it was just like
but like
so many unanswered questions that we have answered today.
Like literally the biggest veil known to us was lifted that day. Insane. So weird to think about.
yeah, if you're a sheep and actually think we went to the moon, bro.
Pardon your regularly scheduled podcast listening for this short ad break.
We've all been there. You have an unexpected medical expense, or you get into a fender bender, but you don't have the money to pay for it immediately. Now Dave can help you out of a pinch when you really need it. There is nothing more stressful than living paycheck to paycheck, and with Dave, you don't have to worry about that anymore. Dave is the banking app that could help you get up to $500 instantly with extra cash. With Dave, there's no interest, late fees, or credit check. There's more money to fill your tank, finally get your car repaired, or catch up on bills without having to wait for your next paycheck. It's simple. Download the Dave app from the App Store right now or go to dave.com/GG. Dave.com/GG. Sign up for extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For terms and conditions, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking services provided by Evolve Bank and Trust, members FDIC. Make sure you check the description right now for that link to Dave. Thank you, Dave, for sponsoring this podcast.
Well, speaking of implosions, Destiny 2, a lot of things have been coming out in
Oh,
old Destiny
man.
2 space.
That hit way
That's too soon.
That hit
For the D2
so
community.
much harder than I thought it was gonna hit.
Yeah, the Titanic guys up there are like, "Hey, good one."
Yeah,
Good,
they're like,
good.
oh, D2 community is like, bro.
Where's my dog pound at? You're like, "Woo, woo, 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 woo." So I don't know if you guys saw. I'm gonna just start with this because this is the first thing that I saw the other day. Did you see Bungie apologize for one of their artists, or I guess not one of their artists, one of the
Community
artists,
artist.
yeah, one of the artists that they had reached out to contract them to do a cutscene, had used a community member's art as inspiration. Which, let's be real, if you could see the two next to each other, it's too similar to be like inspiration. That dude kind of copied for sure. I mean, I'm not an artist by any means, but like I know if I could look at that and they said, just don't make it look like that, mine would look exactly what the cutscenes look like. He was definitely like plagiarizing for sure.
Yeah, it was the well, from what I understand, they have and they made a whole tweet about it. The third party people working on these, it's still, a lot of people are like, oh, it's not Bungie's fault at all, but it's like Bungie did still supply the reference pictures of community artists, because like the third party studio was not like, oh yeah, let's just pick this random artist off of their website. No, like Bungie definitely was like, here's some good reference points. So
Yeah, so this is from the Destiny 2 team. We've discovered that an external vendor that helped to create this cutscene mistakenly used this art as a reference, assuming it was official Bungie art. We have reached out to the artist to apologize for the mix-up and to credit and compensate them for their awesome work, which is cool.
yeah, I mean that's pretty much best case. Bungie owned up to it. Bungie was like, yeah, we're gonna compensate this person. So pretty really good response from Bungie. It's just, for me, it's like, it's very like, you make a lot of money, y'all. Y'all can afford to double check that your shit that you get from external vendors has or does not have plagiarized content in it, especially considering for a fact Bungie has uses resources from the community artists and uses them as references and supplies them as references in mood boards. So you guys can afford take some time, look at quadruple, 8-tuple, not like super double quadruple check your work to make sure your stuff isn't plagiarized.
I just wonder what like the artist felt like when they were playing and they like saw that, or like just the first moment you see that and you're like, wait, like
The artist
that's
was also super nice. The artist
yeah,
was
they
like, they were like, wow,
Hey,
they were
like-
inspired by my work, and literally everyone was like, hey, bro, that's a
like
little more than inspired, man.
yeah, like that's a little bit more than like, and then I think that's when they started shifting their tone to like, hey, I think Bungie like mistaken, and like they were like already thinking like Bungie mistakenly like somehow copied my work. Like the artist was like handled it way better than I would. You know, I'd be coming for billions.
I would have unloaded. I'd be like, what the fuck did they just?
Yeah. See, like as someone like who doesn't make art, like I don't know the kind of connection you have to your like art, and when like you see somebody steal your shit, like that shit is probably so infuriating. So, to have Bungie really own up to it and just be like, yeah, like we messed up, like we're gonna compensate them. Easy clap.
I feel like, if anything, though, got to imagine Bungie's looking for a new contract worker because they're like, we
For
can't even
sure.
trust you guys.
so.
Well, see, but it goes two ways. It's negligence on one party's part because either they did that and ran things by Bungie of like, hey, can we use this stuff? Or like, hey, this is your stuff. Or they didn't do that. So in that case, it'd be Bungie's fault.
Yeah.
They didn't catch it.
Because Bungie was like, yeah, that's like
Yeah,
our actual
that's our
art when
stuff.
it wasn't.
Or the contract people didn't ask and assumed, then you get into trouble.
Yep.
So, if that's the case, I imagine Bungie's like,
I think it's
This is not
the
worth
way that Bungie like tweeted it, like their tweet definitely made it seem like it was the vendor's issue and not theirs. But I mean, they probably could
Who
have made
knows?
it seem kind of vague
Who
like that on
knows?
purpose.
It got resolved, so I think that was fine. Speaking of implosions, let's talk about the other Bungie implosion. That Astacross video that got a huge amount of traction about the
almost had, like, 1 million
monetization
views.
system in Bungie. This is not. It's not anything new. I think.
No.
I mean, especially here
But
on
having
this
it, like,
podcast.
laid out in front of you.
Yeah, especially here at this podcast, we've pretty much always been like, hey, like this monetization, like they've been really pushing the boundaries of like.
You guys are just now hating on Destiny? Where you been?
Yeah, like I feel like we've been saying this shit for about 2 years now.
But the tipping point, and I believe the reason why Astacross made the video is because you can now
The craft.
buy all of the season pass levels the day the season comes out. So day one you can buy the 100 battle pass tiers, which is pretty explicitly pay to win with the
when it
amount of
offers
materials
you
you get.
well materials, XP bonus, which if it were a season where like new light level reset, that'd be more artifact power. And then obviously they added in I don't remember the name of it, but the thing that lets you essentially just unlock a pattern or whatever for free for weapon. And you add in all that and it's got more egregious. Because like before you could buy levels, but it was like the last week or two of the season. At that point, it was like, all right, you must have missed it. You just want the ornament or something.
Like everyone's already done all this. Like people have had months to work on it, and I haven't seen anyone defend it, which is insane. Because I pretty much always see a couple of like corporate bootlickers in Bungie's favor, even though Bungie has some insane monetization schemes. So this one's been pretty good to see. But yeah, like the day one season pass was like insane. For so long, it's been just questionable monetization choices, like the dungeon key. I was like, dude, that's insane that you're pricing a dungeon key.
I literally found that out yesterday. Like when they're like, Rob, you want to do the new dungeon? I was like, oh yeah, like I haven't done the new dungeon. Like let me play it. And they're like, it says you don't have the key. Like did you buy it? And I went, what?
What was that? Well, yeah,
So, like,
they introduced it last year during Witch Queen, the whole dungeon key thing. And And then in addition to that, they increased the season prices, even though dungeons are no longer a part of seasons. So I really didn't like that. And I mean, just in general, the massive amount of like the old expansions still being priced pretty egregiously, even though they're very old content. And a lot of that old content
The sunset.
doesn't even give you like, well, for a long time they didn't even give you like usable end game weapons. Is like, yeah. So, but the season pass, this one is the most egregious. For a long time, it was just questionable monetization, like questionable ethics on is it fair to remove people's access to things they purchased, yada yada. Because Bungie, no other dev has removed game assets and game content like Bungie has in the past couple of years. So, but yeah, the season pass stuff is pretty explicitly. The only reason it wasn't such a big deal is because of how late it was in the cycle. They would let you buy the pass, but now that you could do it day one, it's like ton of
Can I
stuff like
play?
Fruit said, all the things Fruit said. So it's yeah, it's a little sus. It's a little. I don't think this is going to change anything. I think I'm kind of where Dado is, where Dado has already spoke out on his dislike of a verse, but he's just like, yeah, like I could talk about it all day and night about me not liking it, but it's not going to change the course of what Bungie's going to do ultimately. But go on, Ryan.
So like, so my devil's advocate here is just like, if that is really like pay to win, okay, pay to win means like it's affecting other players' gaming experience. So like somebody buying the season passes day one and all that kind of stuff. If there's no day one raid or anything like that, like how is that affecting me as a player if that other person around me is doing that?
Well, I think
Isn't it like
in
pretty
the PvP
non-existent?
side, if you want to get literal on the PvP side, someone getting access to patterns to get a perfect roll, essentially guaranteed, with like maybe new meta PvP weapons, like even in trials, right? That definitely has an impact on gamers' experience. That being said, the pay to win definition is more strictly defined by like, can you pay to essentially get the ultimate like goal of what you're playing the game for without having to play it, right? So for the PvE side, what is winning in PvE? Winning in PvE is like getting
Like
god
rating,
rolls,
I guess. Yeah.
raiding, doing the new dungeons, getting materials and weapons and things that like make you feel powerful, which the season pass being available day one does literally all of that. So PvP wise, it's a little more like, yeah, there's definitely things in there that can give you an advantage in a competitive setting. For PvE though, like for the majority of the game, I think there's definitely a lot of content in the past that immediately puts you ahead of people who don't shell out that $100. You know what I mean? So especially in like dungeons, and especially during, if they continue to do this into expansions, like if you want a world race, you're gonna spend that $100 on that season pass because you want the XP boosts, you want all the new weapons to be immediately in your inventory, so you could potentially, like, if something is meta that like is new and comes out, you're like, oh well, I can already get like that pattern.
Yeah.
That weapon's already in my collection. It's gonna start dropping for me. You have a pretty ridiculous amount of like, upgrade mats, so you get some bonus upgrade mats, although everyone at this point has a lot of upgrade mats if you play a lot. But yeah, you're gonna be shelling out $100 on that pass. You're level 100, you're set. Don't have to grind out that season pass, because a lot of world racers do. They grind out the season pass, so they have everything. And the XP boost alone is a massive advantage, because right out the gate, having your max XP bonus for your artifact to get your artifact unlocks quicker, like, you, especially for a world race, you're going to want to have as many artifact slots open as possible so you can abuse them, whatever the the new season perks are. So Yeah, it's battle
Yeah.
around.
I'm reading what it says. I'm at the Destiny 2 store page. Destiny 2 is an action MMO with single evolving world that you and your friends can join anytime, anywhere, absolutely free. I scroll down a little bit, and then I see content for this game. If I wanted to add all this DLC to my cart, it is $414.
Well, I think the barrier to entry, the reason why I really want the narrative to change from this community, it costs more upfront to play Destiny as an MMO than it does any other MMO.
Yeah.
By far.
Normally the buy-in is a month subscription, which would be like 10
The
to
buy-in,
15.
yeah, whatever the expansion is, and then I'm gonna do my FF14.
Which, like, I'm fine to do that. Like,
I'm gonna do my
it's
FF14
Break through Heaven's
soapbox.
Sword.
It's $40 for Endwalker if you want to play up to Endwalker, and then the monthly subscription, which is like $10 or some shit. Yeah, something like that, around that. And people are like, "Oh, but $10 a month, that's like $120 a year." And it's like, yeah, because but like I can cancel my sub at any time if I don't like find any content I want to play. Okay, but welcome. Yes, Rob?
When you play Final Fantasy, and you pay $10 a month, do you think like that kind of revenue system makes more money for the game, or the way Destiny is made makes more money?
I think because Destiny doesn't have the content to justify a subscription service, they can't do it. So they charge more upfront to kind of negate that caveat. Because if Destiny were to come out with a subscription service, like people would be like subscribing for what?
What? Yeah.
Subscribing for content getting deleted? Subscribing for like, sunset weapons, subscribing for
So you don't think a subscription
the
system would work
DCV?
for Destiny at all?
No. It would not work because at one point I think it could have worked, but the Destiny content vault alone has kind of made the subscription model morally. It wouldn't work. People would destroy the subscription. Like they would talk about how bad it is. It just wouldn't work. Versus like games like WoW or FF, where there's such a backlog of content to do.
That it justifies
the games are so massive on a content scale that it justifies having the subscription model. And even then, like FF, I always talk about FF14's praises, and obviously the game's not perfect, but like the game is free to play. Like you could play through Heavensward, you could say hi to your homies up to Heavensward areas. You can. There's a couple caveats being free to play, right? You can't like use stuff like the market board. You're basically playing an MMO with like a single player focus if you do free to play, right? But with Destiny, when they're like free to play, it's like, is it really? Because Destiny is this marketing tactic of free to play. By definition, sure, it's free to play, but really it's free to try because so much of the game is lock and keyed. The things you want to do, like, yeah, go play anytime with your friends, except for these dungeons. And also, you might get exotic quests in the open world, but you can't do those exotic quests because they might be tied to an expansion. Also, you can't buy these exotics because they are tied to an expansion. Also, you got a really cool material. You can't use that. It is tied to this expansion.
That's what it says to new players?
There's straight up exotic quests and exotics that you can't get, like from Xur especially, where it's just like, yeah, it requires this expansion to purchase.
That's ridiculous, man.
So while it's technically free to play, like the reality is it's free to try because without any purchased content, Destiny has like Cosmodrome and the tower.
Yeah.
EDZ. You guys want to go EDZ? Grant some EDZ bounties, guys? Like
what's sad is like we've been down on Destiny, right? Or like, it doesn't seem like my thing. But right now, it's in a weird place where it just feels hopeless. Or like what's gonna change? Because like the current trajectory just seems to be worse, and so like the cope is well with final shape or whatever they want to do after that. That's when, but that's complete here. Like there's nothing to go off of.
Yeah.
That's complete cope. So like without knowing any of that, it's just like, man, like this just ain't the game I loved. Which is weird because like the core gameplay is still what makes Destiny and fun. But I made a joke tweet where I was like, or seeing like the
First time?
Yeah, the D2 community like implode or like finally realize they're burnt out. And I did the meme with James Franco where he's about to get hung. He's like, first time? And I'm like, hey, I've been here. And so it's just weird because now, like you'd mentioned, like typically Bungie has like some bootlickers. It's hard to find any right now, especially after, even in PvE, after well, more so PvE sure though, but after like Marathon, where now the narrative for a lot of people are like they've abandoned Destiny for Marathon, which I don't think is entirely true. I do think PvP has largely shifted.
Oh, they abandoned PvP.
Yeah,
well,
but
people are like, they abandoned it for Marathon. It's like, bro, they abandoned PvP
before
6
Marathon.
years ago.
They abandoned PvP as soon as they tried to. As soon as they tried to like revamp D2 to be like, oh yeah, we want to make it a little more PvP focused through the double primary. It'll do PvE and PvP together. It'll be perfect. As soon as that turned into a dumpster fire, they were like, okay, so
cut our losses.
We're going to not focus on Destiny's PvP. Next 5 years, guys, we're gonna really focus on PvE. It's just tough because I think the biggest reason why I have become so burnt out and why I'm definitely like my all-time low for Destiny is it's not the core gameplay, it's not like the reward structure. That stuff has honestly been some of the best it's ever been. It's not even the end game. Same deal. The end game has gotten pretty robust, and while it's not perfect, and I have a lot of problems with it. You know, Bungie has solved it and knows how to do what they do best, right? With the end game in Destiny, nobody else is doing it, so it just works. I think for me, it's like the threat of everything being so temporary all the time with seasons,
like
and then
FOMO.
even upcoming expansions. It's just a lot of fatigue and a lot of FOMO, and I don't know. It's just gotten super tough when I have to think about like I got to grind this season pass. I'm just like I really don't want to, or yeah, you got to get make sure you grind your bounties. I just don't want to. Like I just want to play cool content, like with my boys, shoot some aliens, get some cool guns, without being like, yeah, I got to play this content before the year ends, or else it goes away forever. So it's just it's tough. It just sucks because Bungie bangs so hard on making encounter design for shooters. They're just so good at it. So good at it.
I mean, following what you said, the best way I would put it is like, my problem with Destiny is I find myself playing it when I feel like I have to, not when I want to. And I feel like that's been the burnt out. Like, so often it's more of like a I need to or I have to, or if I don't, rather than I want to. Yeah. This sounds fun. Let's do this. And like the percentage of that has just skewed so heavily towards one way that like I think it's all right if I'm enjoying the game playing it to have some of that, but when suddenly like there's no more doing it because I want, and then it's all it's a strange world. All I know is I need to apparently react to this video because even Dado's video has like 350,000 views. What the fudge?
Dude, react to it.
Well, I watched Dado's.
Asdacross made it when Asmongold reacted to it.
Yeah, I watched Dado's kind of like reaction to it, and I pretty much like had pretty much agreed with Dado with everything that he said. Like how many people are really doing that though? Like the population of people that buy season of the battle pass and that people are like really good at PvP. Like, sure, these are all hypotheticals and like it could happen and that would be really bad if it did. But like, will it? And I don't know. And maybe I'll probably be more up in arms about then. But all these like he said, things are not going to change anytime soon. And are these hypotheticals that Astrocross points out in these videos actually something that could come to fruition in terms of like getting the perfect
Absolutely.
patterns and all that kind of stuff?
Yep, they will, and they do have. And I love Dado to death, but Dado goes a little too hard on Devil's Advocate sometimes. And a lot of the time, it's like, are these things actually going to happen? It's like, hell yeah, it happens a lot. You underestimate how lazy Destiny players are, and underestimate how quickly people will shell out 100 to skip the grind. And I mean, we have just there's still lots of cheaters in D2. So it's like the lowest common denominator exists.
For me, it's
It
the
is
fact
the
that
lowest common denominator.
for me, it's just the fact that it's there and it's even a possibility
Yes,
that it
exactly.
exists.
It's Schrodinger's season pass.
So, more interesting time. And then, of course, with all this narrative, it's been going on for a little while. Now, granted, different narrative stuff since Astrocross video, which was like a couple days ago. But radio silence from Bungie and Destiny. So we'll end up seeing if, when, how they approach that. But yeah, I don't know. It's a weird spot. Really, no other way to put it. I really hope Marathon's good though, and like completely separate. I still like Bungie, and they have good shoot. Like, if I'm ever gonna like an extraction shooter, it would probably be a game. Like, if someone's gonna be able to do it for me, it's probably gonna be Bungie. So we'll see.
People are like, oh, well, you have all these criticisms of the game, but you still play it. It's like, yeah, we have the criticisms of the game because we play it. Shut up.
Well,
That
Blue
was
doesn't
always
even
what
play
they said
it.
about
I
us.
saw your season pass, and you're like, season's going crazy or something like that, and it was like level 0 or something.
I logged into Cheese, the dungeon boss, and that Cheese was around, and my friends were like, "Do you want to do Master Dungeon?" I was like, "Why the fuck would I do the Master Dungeon? I haven't even played the game." They're like, "No, but you just sit there and like shoot Witherhorde at it." I'm just like, now you have my
I'm gonna
interest.
Now hold up. Eventually we should probably do the dungeon.
Man, we haven't done a Dream Team video on that, huh?
I've been
The
waiting.
dungeon came out.
I literally did it yesterday because I was like, all right, we're obviously not doing a video on this dungeon. Like,
I haven't done it.
I haven't done
it. I don't know any of the mechs. The rare video where you guys carry me through.
Okay, yeah, I'm down.
I mean,
Easy
to be
content,
fair,
baby.
I was waiting because like what for because like the day it came out was like 2 days after my surgery, so I was like, yeah, I'm back in like 2 weeks, and I just haven't exactly been like, yeah, I came back and I'm not like next up on the docket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, part of the problem too is like I need to figure out because Destiny does well on my channel, well, comparatively to everything else, but like, does like just occasionally posting it continue to hurt even more, or like should I just like not post it again? I don't know. I don't think I'll ever not post it again, but like, does sprinkling it end up just still hurting all my other content?
Probably not. I would think because it's just it. I don't know. You have more numbers than I do.
Don't get me started. Yeah, I'd rather, man. It's just like I don't know, and it's been a while now where I just don't have a main game. Even not even just like on the channel, but like just playing normally in rotation.
Counter-Strike 2 will change that when it comes out.
Oh, shut up.
For you.
You'll love it.
I'll change it for you.
Yeah.
I don't
Weird
know.
spot.
All my friends that are good at Counter-Strike actually hate CS too. So
Why is that?
they hate change. They're like,
That's pretty-
oh, it feels sluggish and slow. But I don't know guns like them. I suck balls and they're really good. So it's like,
But I thought like
they're probably right.
mechanically and stuff, it all is the same.
Yeah, but like even I can admit like the walking felt a little slower. Like when you get out of crouch, it was way slower than it just the movement felt a little off. And CS just tweeted like 3 days ago about that the movement is really important to them. And that they're still like working on it and stuff. People have to remember we're in a beta. Counter-Strike Global Offensive didn't get a beta, I don't think. It was basically like, here it is.
Wah!
So we're kind of going through those
Growing pains. Beta
bumps in the
pains.
road now. Anybody want to touch on anything before we go to questions?
I think that's it. Let's run these questions.
Watch Silo
All right.
on Apple TV.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Big fan.
Blue, did you like The Flash?
It was okay. It
Okay.
was very okay. I was surprised at how hard a lot of critics went for it when they're like, a star is made. Ezra Miller will make you forget all of his transgressions against humanity. And
I
I was
think
like,
they were getting paid, right? It was...
it was a good DC movie, but like,
But as like a superhero movie, it was just one of those. Yeah, it was okay. Like,
it was solid.
wasn't
like,
Eternals bad? But it was like, like.
Yeah, it was good. It was definitely one of the better DC movies.
But it
Which-
also just flopped. Which, like, again, I could have seen coming. But it's weird. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's excited for it. Then nobody shows up.
Admittedly, I haven't seen it.
And again, like, I said this as soon as they announced it. Like, why are you announcing the DC universe that's to come while you still have 3 movies and you're saying, hey, none of these matter anymore?
Yeah.
But we got this new thing coming up in like 3 years. Look out for that. So yeah, of course, like me included, I heard that and I'm like, well,
I think that's
care.
probably like the underlining tone of why I haven't seen it. Like, really, it's like, I know it doesn't matter, really. Like, so.
But
So wait, what was the show on Apple TV?
called Silo. Like-
Silo.
Like imagine a Fallout vault if it was like 10,000 people instead. And they're in the vault, but they don't know why. And all they know is the vault. That's Silo. Super cool.
Interesting.
Love the premise. The first 2 episodes are complete bangers. It slows down, and then gets more into like the nitty gritty and like people and the Silo itself and stuff. But like the first 2 alone had me like, all right, I don't know where we're going, but I'm ready.
Because I don't have a show, and Sydney's watching this show called like, let's marry 2 people that don't know each other but are matched by a scientist. So like that is like what we're watching currently.
Well, episode
And
9.
by we, I mean I scroll on my phone while she watches.
Episode 9 aired this Wednesday. I think 10 might be the season finale. It's next Wednesday. And the good news is, unlike 1899, they've already said season 2 is happening. So thank God.
Nice.
And then, but worst case, unlike 1899, if it does get canceled, there's books, so I can actually finish the story.
Oh, okay.
Which I would have done with 1899 had I been able to do that. But
We're gonna start with questions here. Crystal says, I hope this question is okay because it's kind of a 2-parter. What is the most beautiful place you have ever seen in your life? And what place do you wish to see someday that you haven't? Side note, I'm glad you're doing well, Mr. Fruit. You were well missed. And Robin Blue, you guys are amazing keeping the show going. Freaking killing it. Love
Thanks.
y'all. Most beautiful place I've ever been? Probably Game 5 of the NBA Finals.
I hate you, man.
I'm not kidding. Like it's a beautiful place to be at. What do you? I don't think it, like beautiful is
beauty is subjective.
Rob,
you go.
Rob, this dude thinks he's part of the team. This dude's like,
Yeah.
man, that's the most
played
beautiful
so hard
venue I
that game.
played at.
Yeah. So probably Game 5 of the NBA Finals. Place I haven't seen yet that I would love to see. Probably Game 7 of the no.
Oh my god!
Um. Probably like Japan or something like that, or like something like that, or wherever Blue's at. Wherever you're at, Blue looks really nice.
It's pretty nice here. It's nice and chilly. Unlike Texas, pain.
Um,
You've been to a lot of places, Mr. Fruit.
yeah. Most beautiful though. Questions I hate. I can't think of it. It's too subjective, or it's too vague. And I feel like I should know, but I don't. I'm just gonna say Colorado. Because lots of Colorado, even living here, I can take it for granted, but there's some beautiful places around here. Place I want to be, no secret. Yeah, I'd probably say like Japan. Most beautiful place I've been in a video game, Ghost of Tsushima.
So Japan, got it.
Well, technically, the island.
He had to throw in. Like, you
But
know
see,
what's
I
the
can't-
best place? Japan.
Well, I could.
But you know what was the best place in video game? Japan.
Well, and that's what I want to. But see, I couldn't think like I'm thinking like IRL, like what's most beautiful place I've been. Nothing immediately came to mind, but video games, I was like, I just didn't remember them. But I'm like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Was Ghost of Tsushima.
Iceland wasn't beautiful.
Yeah, it's up there. Yeah, I have to think about it though. I don't know.
So
Iceland
it's like,
had
was
its
it
moments.
beautiful? Was it as pretty as Ghost of Tsushima?
Well, Iceland, it's like
No.
half of it is just desolate. But then once you sort of get in there and kind of see some of the caves, there are some really beautiful spots. I couldn't narrow it down. I mean, Iceland was beautiful. Parts of Scotland.
Scotland forever.
What I could see through the fog and constant rain. Yeah.
Mr. Westlo.
Here,
Most beautiful place I've ever been. Unironically, probably Colorado.
Oh, you know what really hit me when you guys like really liked or like was like it's so beautiful is when we were driving to like Chili's or whatever that was, and we were
Dude,
on the-
we were like, bro, this place
yeah,
is fuck.
yeah,
And then Rob was just like,
that's a sunset.
what are you talking about? Yeah, me and Danielle were like, I was like, Daniel, you gotta send me that picture. And Daniel was like, bet, this is so beautiful. And Rob was just like,
On my phone, just
yeah,
yeah, it's a sunset.
it's alright.
we definitely take
We
it for
get 'em-
granted. You get used
Oh,
to it,
100%.
unfortunately.
Like, yeah, that's West. Like, you know, that's to me, that's West. Like, you see a beautiful, gorgeous sunrise and sunset, or not sunrise, but sunset. I see mountains. That means West. My cardinal direction.
Hard to get lost here. I like it.
What place do you wish to see someday, Blue?
I do definitely want to go to Iceland one day. Whenever I come into massive amount of money that lets me travel, that'd be sick.
Do you know where is that? Just a stock image of like a place, or do you know where that is?
Oh, this is a Getty image, baby.
Okay.
Antarctica, baby.
Yes, sir.
Braden says or asks, say you guys had to bet on a fight between Superman, Omni-Man, and Homelander. Who is the first to die and who is the last one standing?
First to die, Homelander.
Yeah.
Really?
100%.
Over Superman?
Yeah, he's like a worse Superman.
Superman is ridiculous. Superman is like
Superman
Superman
is the
cleans
epitome
them.
of OP.
Yeah, Superman cleans them purely because Superman is always as strong as he needs to be, and that's how he's written.
I feel like there could
When
be.
people are like Ben 10 would clean. Ben 10 would clean. It's like Superman's cleaning Ben 10. You know, let's.
I feel like there could be
Well, Blue?
an interesting fight and probably discussion to be had about possibly Omni-Man winning, but Homelander just seems like the clear. My dude's out first.
Okay.
So I would probably lean towards Superman, but I could be convinced Omni-Man.
You're saying Homelander has a little bit more like human to him and of side of like he actually die than Superman or Omni-Man have, like at all.
100%. 100%.
See, I think Omni-Man wins. Like, if you take Superman and Omni-Man, I think they're both the like exact same character, almost. Like, I mean, technically, I don't read the Homelander or not Homelander, Omni-Man books or Invincible comics. So I don't know how far it goes, but he seems to be just so overpowered, it's insane. So I think he just looks like a better Superman because he's evil and like isn't constricted by the laws of like being a good guy.
Superman and Goku are in the same vein of no one is beating them because they are written from their own power and their own power only, or through like the power of friendship or something. Will they overcome the obstacle in front of them, whether it be like a multi-dimensional god or like, I don't know, some random dude with a watch. Like they are written to clean.
They're not.
They are written to clean, and they don't need a plot device to win. Because how are they going to win over that plot device? Who knows? But like an alien that has the best genetics. I'm pretty sure Goku's son beat that dude in like season 2 of DBZ. So, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, like Superman's gonna clean.
Okay. We'll have 2 more questions or last question here probably. Snosbert says, "Welcome back, Fruit. Any plans to do a Diablo playthrough at all, or either stream it or YouTube it?"
No.
There you go. No.
I've already done the playthrough on my own time.
Absolutely 20 says, "Hey y'all, Fruit, glad you're back on the podcast. This is kind of a quick one, so I'll skip this last one. We'll start with that next podcast. Now for the question: what is the animal that you are most scared of? They say they're the most afraid of wasps."
Animal I'm most scared of, probably chimpanzee.
Oof.
I'm not fucking with a chimpanzee.
Like, I have to think of like an animal that I could come across. Like, sure, I'm afraid of like a grizzly bear, but am I ever gonna like just find a grizzly bear? Kind of.
I'm the same way. I would say bee/wasp, simply just because of my childhood trauma. But like actual fear, I wouldn't do it because like even though in the moment it's an irrational fear, I ain't dying. Unless it's I find the Japanese hornets, then it's over. But yeah, same thing. Like I know I should be afraid of other ones, but because the likelihood of me running into them are 0, there's not that same fear. Because otherwise, like literally anything in the water. Pretty much.
Yeah, anything in the water.
Yeah. Even the little guppies, it's over. I'm gone.
I guess like black widow spiders is probably like black widows are just like venomous spiders. Like because there are a few you can find in Colorado, very, very few. But I have seen one black widow in my life in Colorado. And that has always just kind of stuck with me. So yeah, probably black widow. As a homeowner, termites or ants.
Oh man. Yeah.
We had ants in our house the other day going after our cat's cat food. And I was like, where are these things coming from? Thankfully, it wasn't like a lot or anything like that. Enough to, get Sydney's attention. But not too many. Have you ever had ant problems? Either of you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was courtesy of the Fruit Summit, actually.
Yeah, they find their way.
Yeah, somebody said they would take the trash out. And by take the trash out, they just laid it in the middle of the garage with all the food.
Who?
Oh.
I don't know. And
do you have a ring? I hate people who do that. Find who that was. I will kill them.
The
I
mystery.
came back out, and I'm like...
Take it to the fucking bin, man.
There's just an army of ants going through the garage. I'm like, what the
I'm
fuck?
mad. I just went firefly mode.
But they're in the garage, so like
Who was
sucks. Well, your gym is in there.
Who was it?
Well, yeah, it was
Who
right in the middle of
the trash out? Who thinks take the trash out is toss it in the garage?
It ain't me.
I'm saying, I don't know.
I'm gonna fucking.
Was this the newest, the most recent one, or the first one?
Oh,
My guess
when I
would be one
find
of
out.
the Zoomers.
Oh, when I find out.
I will say I haven't in the house though. We've had I don't remember what the names are. Some sort of fly.
Oh, fruit flies?
No, I did have those in Florida though. I forget what kind, but they're from like Claire has like a little plant she'll keep in here, like a lemon tree plant she'll keep during like winter and other things. Well, the thing is, she was storing all these things back here in this bathroom nobody uses. I'm sitting here and I'm like, freaking day after day, I'm like, where are these things coming from?
Oh no!
And so one day I go back in there, hundreds, and because she has like little sticky traps in them to like bait them, and I'm telling you, you can't like imagine the
They
sticky
can't
trap.
land on each other.
The sticky trap is in the shape of like a maple leaf. What it's like supposed to look like, and it's yellow. You can't see yellow. Just
Oh my
caked
god!
in these things, and then all of them flying around. And I'm like, no wonder, because they just keep going through the little thing under the
Yeah,
little
at
crack in
some
the
point
door.
they escape.
So I shoved like a little towel under there.
They're still back there.
She
I
said,
know-
well, no, she since like moved them and stuff. For the longest time, I'm sitting here like they just keep showing up, and I'm like, my brother in Christ. So thankfully,
Were they easy flies to get, or were they the
No.
annoying ones that are kind of tough?
it's miserable. Because it was
Well-
just a nuisance, just annoying.
Yeah, and that's what I'm afraid of, is being annoyed. And speaking of being annoyed, unfortunately, our listeners and viewers are going to be annoyed because we got to end the podcast. Appreciate you guys all listening to our thoughts and opinions about the Titanic shit. Shout out to the Titanic for keep doing its thing. No one will ever go down there again.
Figure out, I don't know if we should clickbait the submarine or the As to Cross microtransactions, because apparently, I mean,
I think both are tough. Both
I think
are
D2
very
would get more
relevant
clicks,
at the
let's be
very
honest.
moment. Yeah, I think the D2
With our
one,
audience.
because at this point the submarine has been confirmed as, imploded, and no one cares anymore.
Yeah, I mean, what? It's been less than 24 hours. They've moved on. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for listening. We'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Deuces.